Good morning. We're here to talk about the future of our health. I'm going to tell you that we can be much more healthy than we're doing now. We're not doing too well. We've got too much cost, we've got a lot of unnecessary suffering, and it's partially because of our lifestyle. And I want to show you a different future. A future where I think we're heading actually to a transformation of how we deal with health. And if we do this right, we will age much more successfully, we'll be vital, happy as we age. And in the same time, we can save up to 40% of our future healthcare bill. But let me start you with showing a 25-minute movie, if it works. This is obesity figures in the US, starting 85. Every year we go up, there are new categories, new colors are added, and this is not looking good. As we go on, it gets worse and worse. And new colors have to be added again, and obesity just keeps growing. This is prepared by the CDC just to convey this message. Oops, going too fast. And evolution is actually going the wrong way, seems like it. Thank you. The thing is, this is not just about obesity, and it's not just the US. This trend is really getting global. Did you know in China how many people got obese since 1995? It's more than the entire US population. And it's not just obesity. We could make similar movies for starting World War II, for cardiovascular disease, for diabetes, and for a number of cancers which are really common in the West, unfortunately. And it's just a massive thing happening here. It's also not just about aging. That's what we think sometimes. But actually, if you make these movies for the younger people, the numbers go up faster. So in every disease category that's common in the West, if you're younger, your risk factors are going up faster. Diabetes grows faster in the younger age groups, etc. Did you know in some states in the US now, of the youngsters, 40% is obese already? 40%. The scale of this is massive. Recently, the American Heart Association, they said by the age of 65, everybody of us here should be treated and health coached as a as a heart disease patient because of all the risk factors built up. Every one of us. That's strange. We seem to think this is a natural part just of our aging process. Well, it's not normal aging. There are actually parts in the world where they have a different lifestyle, where out of 100,000 people that you look at, you will not find one case of cardiovascular disease. Can you believe that? Read some of the work of Professor Campbell, for example, China study, many surprises there. It's not normal aging what we're doing here. It's not normal health. It's important to consider that some of the things that we do, Professor Renger-Witkamp talked about it, we're not doing the right things with our body. For example, our average cholesterol level, it's about 5. If we could bring that down 25% to 3.75, or in US standards it's from 200 to 150, we would get rid of, it's because they have different metrics, not because it's so much worse. We would get rid of about 90% of our cardiovascular disease. If we would do that at the same time, because it's such a predictor also for other diseases that we talked about, we would get rid of most of our diabetes, most of our obesity, and even a large part of our cancers. This has to do a lot with lifestyle. To give you some examples, did you know for some cancers which are common here, like breast cancer or colon cancer or prostate cancer, what the worldwide differences are in these cancer rates? It's not a factor 2, it's not a factor 5 or 10 or 20, it's a factor 50 difference worldwide. And we need to use that knowledge to better our lives here. Some other examples, if people from Okinawa, if they move to Brazil, migration study is really interesting. How many years of life on average do they lose? 17 years. So some of them may lose 3 years and others may lose 30 years. If Asians move to the West, they start approaching our disease patterns. But if they stay on an Asian diet until they're 20, then they're much better protected. So there's a message. We just have to do better. The key message, if you look at the key science areas looking at this, whether it's twins research or looking into DNA or lessons from successful aging or migration, all those scientists are starting to tell us it's not our DNA. DNA is maybe 25%, but how we live is 75% of how old we get and with which quality of life we get old. So that's huge. What does that mean for you? If 75 to 80% of your health span is your lifestyle, what does that mean? You cannot outsource your health, can you? It's something, it's your life, it's your health, and they're connected. So this is on the personal level. Now let's look at the national level, how we're dealing with health. There's this huge trend. We've been talking about the future of health quite a bit with a group of us. One of the key trends is, of course, our cost. By now, cost has been rising since the 1970s at about 6, 7, 8, 9, 10% per year, much faster than our economy, and it continues to go like that. And we're now, in the Netherlands, the budget is 63 billion euros for our insurance company that they have to stick below that number. But in normal terms, that's 8,000 euros per working person sitting here, or 700 euros per month. It's a lot of money. You don't feel it because most of it goes via your paycheck. But this trend will continue, and every year the chunk of extra money is getting bigger because it's exponential growth. And we need, I think this is the wall, and we need to do something about this because we're heading right to something that we can't deal with and manage anymore. And one of the things that we need to do is really move on in terms of dealing with our health better. If we look at this wall, whose problem is this? It's a financial problem, political problem. Well, it's your problem. It's my problem. And it's our children's problem. Our children, actually, there's a great TED Talk from last year where Jamie Oliver said, in a US audience, he said, you have to be careful. Your kids are not going to live as long as you will. They will die on average 10 years younger. And you have to do something. You have to teach them how to cook and to take care of themselves. So the situation for our kids is they may get sick sooner, they may die sooner, and in their healthy lifespan, they'll have to work very hard to pay for all this, what we're doing. So my question is, what actually are we going to do about this? Are we the frog in the boiling water that's just sitting and waiting? We really have to do something, and that's my concern. And there are two objections that you very often hear in terms of, well, we can't do anything. Disease is bad fate. Well, I think I've shown you that it's not just bad fate. Unfortunately, I still have all kinds of cancer books at home saying that it's bad luck with your DNA. Yeah, of course it's bad. It's very tough luck if you get cancer, and there is definitely bad luck. And at the same time, there is a stack of more than 5,000 articles saying that, yeah, how you eat has an impact. What you do in exercise has an impact. What you do in terms of your social support and emotional health, stress management, they all have an impact. But we live in a really over-specialized world where one group of experts is not working with the other group because they're busy with their own domain, as Professor Nico Bake has showed in the TEDx Amsterdam, and we need to work together. Now, the second objection that we often hear is people don't want to change. Well, I think that's totally wrong, and I'll show you. Because I know that in every hospital there are people who want to really outsource their health problem to their doctor. But I also know that in every company there are plenty of people who want to insource their own responsibility for their own health, and that's what I'm going to show you. I've been very fortunate, actually, by having a lot of supportive people for some of the crazy ideas with which I came up. And I'm very happy to tell you that when I learned about this lifestyle connection with disease, it was really, really urgent for me to do something. And we prepared, together with experts worldwide, a program which has two key elements. It's a health program. And on the one hand, it's really health education. What can you do? What are the key levers? What is known from science where you can influence? And the other thing is empowering, changing. So we have an online dashboard where you can see your own health progress. We use monitoring to see how you're doing. really coaching people towards this is what you can do, this is what you can change. And what we're actually seeing, we started doing a project, large project at Delft University. Very positive responses about doing this with our own people. And well, the greatest thing to me in the pilots that we've been doing and scaling up together with our insurance partners like ORA and CZ, people love this. They like to change. They like to get better. We're targeting people, the group that have the biggest health problems, so they see progression fast as well. People start noticing very strong differences within 2 weeks, 3 weeks' time. And if we measure, they're not just only doing stress management or social support. They double their exercise within 2 weeks' time, physical exercise. They even quadruple the quality of their food. The nutrition density in their food really goes up a lot, and that's a strong factor in our health and our disease. And moreover, after 6 months, they say, I never want to stop this anymore. This is not some short thing or a fluke or a diet. I feel that I'm better. I notice what it does with my body, and I will never change. The way I'm going through the Albertijn in my cart, it won't change. I mean, it's very different now than it was 6 months ago, but this is the way I want to keep it. Now, the good news here is that people are getting enthusiastic, we're making steps, and it really fits, I think, the trends for the future. I mean, we talked about smartphones, mobile health, self-empowerment. People want to take charge of their own health, of course. Care providers are more and more moving towards the care and the prevention, so that's great. So now I think we're back to considering the political picture to round up the story. Let's imagine a future. Let's imagine a future where a lot of companies will start deploying healthcare programs to support their own people. Let's imagine that you only need about 4 or 5 indicators in such a population to track 80% of your health progress. And let us imagine that we start with small groups per company where people who maybe have a condition but notice progression really fast, they become the sponsors. There's a lot of talking going on at our university with a lot of sponsors and very enthusiastic, and that builds a health culture. It spreads like a snowball. That's what we need. We need skill to reach people, etc. Now let's imagine you would do that for 4 years. And imagine a crystal ball where you can see the results of this approach. Well, we have kind of a crystal ball like that. There's a large company in the US, Safeway, who's done this for 4 years. The interesting thing is they have, whereas the market and their competitors had a rise of 38% of healthcare costs in those 4 years, their costs were stable. So 38% difference. So I think on a national level, and that's what they calculated for the US, they said if everybody does this, it will be 40% difference in our health cost. So I think we need to move there. Now let me ask you one final question to wrap it up, because what I really would like to ask everybody here is please take charge of your own health. Take charge of the health of your employees, of your children. And if we do this right, then we'll be much more vital, healthy, and happy as we age. And if we do this right, hopefully we'll still be there to see our grandchildren grow up as well in a very healthy, happy world as well. Thank you very much.